program. Yeah. So this is the code that's going on here, and the Arduino code is meant to be, you know, really simplified. And where I got this program was actually from the tutorial. So if you're running Chrome, what's kind of nice is if you actually go and oops, but if you go to, I'll just use my hotspot here. You got 4G up here. Okay. Wait, let's take a look at Arduino first. So the Arduino program, you know, again, is free. The 123D circuits doesn't program the Arduino directly, so you have to use this Arduino to actually program it. I mean, if you know, you guys have DreamSpark and college students, so if you want to, you could get the programs such as your Windows 10 and OneNote. Is Visual Studio 2015. I haven't really used it that much, but you can actually program Arduino using Visual Studio if you want to. But we usually just use this. So here's the program here that, again, you can get from this Adafruit. If you keep scrolling forward in the tutorial, it'll eventually come to the code. So I could grab the code from the 123D circuits, or I could grab it from, see, this is Arduino code. I want to show you this method because you can see here, in Chrome, it gives you this nice little copy code thing. This must be a Flash thing. But if I click copy code from this tutorial, I can go to my Arduino, highlight the starter program, and hit delete and paste in, you know, right-click paste the code for the program. And what this code does, it's fairly simple to understand. You first of all have to set up your pins. These Arduino pins can be set up as input or output. So we're first of all actually coming up with variables. Instead of using numbers like 10, 11, 9, 7, 0, we're using variables to name these pin numbers, some things that have meaning. And then this little setup routine, we set these pins. 3 of them are output, and this one is the switch pin, and it has an internal pull-up resistor. That's what that specifies. So a lot of you that are familiar with pull-up resistors and switches, if you don't have a pull-up resistor, you're going to short out once you turn your switch on. So you need a pull-up resistor to prevent your switch from shorting out for if you want to switch. And one of these is set up. This analog is already, see this pot pin is pin 0. That's an input. That cannot be specified as input or output. That's an analog read pin. So anyway, what we're doing here is we're reading that analog input. Remember that wiper, 0 to 5 volts? Well, this is actually going to convert to a 10-bit number. Anybody know what's the biggest number you can represent with 10 bits? 8 binary yet? 3 bits is 8. Right? 4 bits is 16. Well, 10 bits is 1024. So this has a 10-bit analog to digital converter. So it takes that analog 0 to 5 volts, converts it to a binary number from 0 to 1023, and it's proportional. So if you have 2.5 volts, it'll convert it to a number right around 500 or so. But the pulse width modulation only goes between 0 and 255. So we have to divide the binary value by 4 so that when we set the motor speed here, this is the motor speed, there's a command called analog write, and it's the pin and the speed. So this speed number has to be between 0 and 255 for the pulse width modulation. Okay. So in other words, without getting into a lot of details, that program simply takes the, oh, wrong computer here. It just simply takes the analog value and it uses it to convert to speed. And then the speed direction here is determined by these two control pins, in pin 9 and 10. So in one pin, in two pin, right? One's the opposite of the other, right? So depending on the value of the reverse, which is set by the button. So you read the value of the button. If the button is 0, in 1 is a 0, in 1 is a 1, in 1 is a 0. If pin 1 is the opposite, it goes opposite. So in 1, in 2 pin controls the direction. So anyway, one thing that's important is you set your Arduino port, the same port as whatever the computer gives it, as a COM1 through COM5 typically. So when you plug in this Arduino, okay, Windows assigns that USB port or the Arduino to some port number, okay? And you can go to your control panel to see that. So go to your actually device manager. So if I go to device manager in Windows, you'll see the COM ports, COM and LPT. There's COM9. So if I pull this out, okay, see that COM9 disappears. I put it in, it's COM9. So I know that my Arduino is communicating on COM9 in Windows. So
I don't mean to interrupt. They're going to be leaving in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quickly, you just set that up. Port COM9, hit upload, and that's going to upload the program. I have to name it if I didn't already. So that compiles it, puts it in the Arduino, and what I was going to do is just hook up this motor. You'll see it spin. But what I'm going to leave Mr. Sampson here is a bunch of just some of this wire that you can actually make your own motor. You know, get a, I can leave this one you can use, or you can easily build one up and you can do the same type of experiment. So that's kind of what I'm basically finished. But do you guys have any questions about Penn College or anything at all that I can answer? The jobs are really good. Mr. Kinley can attest to that, right?
Yeah.
2-year degrees, guys are getting, like, first quality pays $46,000 to start, $23 an hour. 4-year guys are getting $50,000 on up. Some guys are getting $70,000, $80,000. Some of the guys go on for their masters and PhDs. You know, not a lot, but we have 1 or 2 that have gotten their. I'm one of them, but that have gotten their PhDs recently. So we can take you wherever you want to go in terms of your goals. Okay, it's done uploading. So this has the program, but I must have had a wire pull out because let's see, where's my enable pin?
Well,
I need to go back.
I have some SparkFun Arduinos coming for every student in here. Ordered them in September. We still haven't received them, but
Yeah, they're quite popular. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those that these guys will have their own here soon.
But you guys actually saw the video working. You know how